What's up, everyone? This is In Camp Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Hepler. This week's show is probably one of the favorite episodes I've done so far. This is probably one of the most unique guests I've had on. So make sure you tune in. The story that our guest shares is it's one that you're all gonna feel a little bit. And don't miss out for her fun stories at the end too, because she's got a lot of good ones. Um, what what a cool thing to be able to share here. I hope you guys enjoy it. This will be in video format. Our guest asked if she could be able to see this, so I wanted to make sure the video format came through on Spotify. Enjoy the show. This is In Camp Podcast. Our guest today has gone from competitive bass fishing to the deer woods and has most recently displayed resilience in a story that she's going to probably talk about today. She's really put it to the test. So I'm going to welcome Braci Ault.
Hello,
Am I say,
everybody.
I said your last
Yes.
name? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Braci Ault, that's perfect.
So Braci, you're getting ready to head to college.
Yep, I just started online classes today. I'm actually living at home with my brother Brody, and then we're just gonna travel to the meetings every week, which is a 3.5 hour drive each way. But we wanted to be home with our family and work here so we can support our fishing addiction. So we're just living at home with our family, and we're gonna drive to campus every week for the fishing meetings. And then, obviously travel to fish those tournaments, which we have a lot of tournaments coming up, so we're gonna
Yeah.
be traveling quite a bit.
So do you just have one meeting a week or a couple or?
Just 1 a week right now. We have, like, a Meet the Warriors night, so we have to go to that here soon, and then we'll probably have a meeting that day or that week as well, but mainly it's just once a week for 2 hours every week. Everybody meets up. I mean, there's 30 of us,
Oh,
so
30.
it's
Okay.
yeah, so it's kinda hard to get us all on board because everybody has classes and other responsibilities that they have to do.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of traffic there.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, it's definitely packed.
are you and your brother the same age?
I'm a year and a half older than Brody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you were already in the bass fishing team at that college already?
No, so I actually went to Ivy Tech just in Lafayette here, just to kinda get, like, my general studies done. It's a lot cheaper and easier for my family. I can
Yeah.
live at home and, just drive 20 minutes and get those done. And then I fished for Purdue, because Purdue's about, like, 15 minutes away, so I would just say that I was part of Purdue because I was on the pathway to Purdue. And then Todd contacted our coach at Wabash Valley College contacted us again, and he's like, "Hey, just offering you this again. We'd love if you guys could fish for us." And we went and checked it out, and we loved it. We absolutely love the fishing, so we love the team. So we decided to go to Wabash Valley together.
That's so cool. I
Yeah,
love that. I love that story.
yeah.
So I want to get your brother on here too, because I was checking out his social media page, and you guys have
Mhm.
really grown up you've really had a lot of cool opportunities.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just starting in high school fishing, my dad started the fishing team. I was a sophomore and Brody was a freshman, and we had no idea it was gonna end up like being this successful. Brody has had a lot of success, even just the year that I wasn't fishing with him. He got 10th in the national tournament on Lake Chickamauga in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Him and his partner and my dad did, and just a lot of high school success as well in Indiana.
You're already started to talk about your background, but why don't you talk first about kind of how you grew up and your family's influence on your fishing? It seems like you've got a really cool relationship with your dad, and he's kind of like paved the way for you and your brother to really get into hunting and fishing on the outdoors.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My dad has fished pretty much his whole life as well because my grandpa was real into fishing, on my dad's side. My dad we'd always go on fishing trips together. Every vacation we'd be fishing. I mean, everything revolved around fishing. And I guess when you grow up around fishing, you're bound to fish. Which I'm so thankful that I did because I seriously don't know what I'd do without it. But basically, just for as long as I can remember, I've just wanted to fish. I started off with my little Zebco, and then, I eventually worked my way up to a bait caster, and we'd always just travel around and fish, my brother, my dad, and I. We'd learn new things together. like I said, just travel the country together for all these fishing tournaments. We'd constantly learn new things. And like I said, we had absolutely no idea that we'd be this successful. My dad still fishes a lot of tournaments too. I have a little sister. Her name's Avery. She's 6. So dad had to kind of slow down on fishing these tournaments, but he was actually ranked second in Indiana for a while. So he fished quite a bit when we were younger. And then we kinda took his spot from him because we need the boat, so we steal the boat now, and he's usually at home supporting us, but he's definitely been a huge asset to it because without him, I wouldn't even know what a lure was. So
Yeah.
I'm super thankful for his guidance for sure.
Yeah. I know that you aren't only a stellar bass fisherwoman, but you kill some pretty big bucks though too, huh?
Oh yeah, we like to let them grow. When you shoot 3, sometimes even 4-year-olds, the next year they could be 170, and the year before that they're 150. So you have to have patience. It's not always easy, especially when there's so many people hunting around here. Especially these high-powered rifles. I mean, you can't let a deer walk. Like a lot of 3 and 4-year-olds don't make it to the next year. But we've been blessed enough to have some property where just we get to hunt it and we get to let these deer live, and they're also corn fed. They got a lot of corn to eat, so they can grow off that corn. They grow pretty big, as you can see.
Yeah.
So we're blessed with the genetics, that's for sure.
You're in Southern Illinois, correct?
That is
Is
where I
that
go
what
to
you said?
college. I actually live in Indiana,
Okay.
like kind of the middle upper Indiana.
Okay. What what kind of a state is Indiana? Does it set up well for the bass fishing? I mean, it obviously sets up well for the deer hunting thing. There's no doubt about that. People kill giants in Indiana, but
Oh yeah. Um, Bass fishing wise, kind of depends on the lake you go to. My home lake is Freeman and Schaefer, the
mhm.
Twin Lakes. Sometimes it takes like 10 to 12 pounds to win there. So those lakes can definitely be a grind. Just bringing 5 in is like, yes, I did so good today. But other lakes like Monroe or Patoka, it can take 20 some pounds to win. It kind of just depends on where you are in Indiana. I'd say southern Indiana probably has a little bit of better fishing, and then you get to northern Indiana and you get the smallmouth, like
Yeah.
Lake Wawasee. I absolutely love Wawasee. The smallmouth fishing is a blast.
Yeah. Uh,
So
do you have a favorite, smallmouth or largemouth?
largemouth,
Largemouth?
definitely. Yeah, I'd probably say.
I think I'm better at largemouth fishing, but I like smallmouth fishing better because I don't have a lot of places to do it. You know what I mean? So
Yes,
when you
smallmouth
catch
are
one,
definitely yeah, they're definitely more aggressive too. You think like you have it like a 2.5 pounder on, you think it's like a 5 pounder.
yeah.
Definitely with smallmouth.
So you started fishing competitively in high school. What grade were you
Mhm.
in?
I was just a sophomore in high school and my brother was a freshman, so I didn't get to fish the full 4 years, but I still got the experience.
Yeah, that's cool. How did you get into something like that?
Just my dad was like, "Man, like I see all these high school tournaments. I wanna fish them," and I was like, "Man, I wanna fish them too." Like, we all wanted to fish the high school tournaments. We saw people posting about it, and we're like, "Well, like, we have all the other sports here at Frontier, so, let's create a bass trail." Um Dad went to the principal and he asked the principal, and the principal was like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't really see why not." So we had a call out and we created this bass fishing team. We had multiple kids come to the call out. A lot of kids were interested. So we'd have like meetings every Sunday, I think it was, like at a pond, and we'd have like learning sessions and then we'd go fishing. And then if you were able, if you had a boat and somebody to captain you, we would travel to these Indiana tournaments. And then so we started traveling to these tournaments and then, it became an addiction. So we started traveling more and more and then we qualified for nationals and then that just brings you up like higher and higher levels. We just got to the college level because we decided we didn't want to stop at high school. So
Yeah.
it really just kicked off a career for us.
I think that's so cool because it's such a unique sport especially in high school because you just don't see it. Like and the opportunity that I'm sure it gave you, kids kids get to travel if they play baseball or football, like the typical sports, but not like they do for bass fishing,
Oh yeah.
Get to go all over the
Absolutely.
country. What were
Yeah,
some of the
that no.
what were some of the coolest places you've been to?
Oh gosh, I Hartwell is definitely my favorite place in South Carolina, probably because we did so good there, but it's also, like, absolutely beautiful. Like, we saw, like, wild boars there, I think is what they were. I just thought that was so dang cool. And like all the wildlife, being from Indiana, all you see is like raccoons and deer. So, just getting to travel and see something else. And probably also Harris Chain in Florida. There's everywhere, like palm trees and these beautiful, like flowy trees that we do not have here. I just thought it was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, even if we don't fish good, it's still absolutely amazing to be able to travel.
Yeah.
And Sam Rayburn, that was a college one, but that's been probably my favorite place so far. I mean, it's one heck of a drive, but it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, that's way cool.
Mhm.
I actually ran into a high school bass fishing team. I think they might have been college, but there was I don't know, 100 anglers at this thing. They were in a hotel in Iowa. I was on my way home from Colorado, and that was probably one of I was there elk hunting. It was probably one of my favorite memories from the drive to and from Colorado was seeing
Mhm.
all those anglers and getting to hear their stories at breakfast about
Oh,
and
yeah.
their strategy. That's really, really cool to see kids
Yeah.
getting into that because it's just something you don't get to see every day.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you think of high school and college, the last thing you think about was bass fishing. I have so many people ask me, like, a fishing team, like, "You guys fish?" And, I mean, it's just so crazy that some people don't even know that this is a thing because it's gotten so big in the fishing industry, and,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what I'd do without it. I mean, this is basically what I'm going to college for. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I need an education, that's important too, but, bass fishing, that's what I'm at Wabash Valley College for.
Well, I mean, you could go all the way and you might not need an education.
Yeah. That would be nice. That's kind
Do
of the
you
goal.
is that your goal? Do you wanna go all the way?
Not to be my goal, if I'm being realistic, I know I'm not gonna be a pro. I mean, I'm a professional co-angler. I like being a co-angler. That's kind of my thing. But I do want to be in the fishing industry my entire life, kind
Mhm.
of just marketing and influencer wise. I would absolutely just love to be in that industry. So I'm taking marketing classes so I can stay on that pathway to the marketing for bass fishing.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. What if you get really good, though? I mean
I mean,
you could be like the next version of KVD, you never know.
I guess if that's God's plan for me, then that's God's plan for me. I'm gonna go with that flow then, because if I get as good as KVD, then I'm taking advantage of that.
It's cool to see a girl that's your age. You really have a strong influence on social media from what I've seen, and you're using your influence the way it should be. And you're really showing people how God has opened doors for you in all different ways. I mean, could you imagine when you started high school bass fishing, seeing yourself where you are now?
Absolutely not. I just thought, maybe we fish a few tournaments, learn a few things, get better at throwing a bait caster. I had no idea I'd get as far as I'd have so far.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. They say, "Oh, you're throwing a bait caster." They're like, "You're just casting, right?" How many backlashes did you get before you learned how to
Oh my
cast a bait?
gosh. I still backlash every single time I go fishing.
At
One
least
little
once.
gust of wind, yeah, my whole spool's nested up.
What branch is the bass fishing team that you're in right now? Is it part of Bassmasters?
Well, my college fishing team, some colleges just choose a trail.
Mhm.
We fish the ACA events, the MLF events, and the bass events. So we are constantly on the go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I like the bass trail,
Yeah.
probably.
I think there's good things to both, right? For whoever is listening to this that's not really familiar with competitive bass fishing, why don't you I want you to do this. Explain to them the difference between BASS, and like the Bassmasters and MLF.
Okay, well, MLF, I know for the elites, obviously, MLF is every fish counts and bass is best five fish. But for college, the major league fishing tournaments, MLF, are just 1 day tournaments.
Okay.
So I like that better about MLF because I feel like we have more of a chance in 1 day tournaments because my brother and I are like shallow water power fishermen and women. So we like the 1 days, but also I like the 2 days, it depends on the lake, but BASS, Bassmaster, is the 2 day events, which if you're on a lake that's you're struggling on, sometimes they can be, like, long days, 2 day events, but, I do like probably bass better. I like where they go. They usually have a variety of places we go every single year, so I do like Bassmaster, but they're kinda similar, but MLF is 1 day and Bass is 2 for college, but for the elites, MLF is, every fish counts and
Yep.
Bass is best 5.
Yeah. And that is essentially there's a bunch of differences, but that's the biggest difference. So
Yes.
MLF is kind of like made for TV kind of fishing,
Mhm.
I think, because it's exciting, but there's just something about catching a big, like, what does Mark Zona call him, a slouch, there's just something about catching a really, really big largemouth
Yeah.
and weighing in a big largemouth and targeting them because you have to target them.
Mhm. I love the challenge, like, bringing in 5 big ones, I mean, that's the challenge, I love that challenge.
What was your biggest bag and what was your biggest fish?
My biggest bag ever was actually Indiana Lake. It was 24-45. I caught him on my favorite bait, chatterbait. I'm just reeling it really slow, and then I saw this buoy out in this little pocket we were in, and my dad had told me about this buoy, so I was like, I'm just gonna cast there, see if he knows what he's talking about. And I cast out there and I catch a 7.5 pounder. That is, I was like almost in tears. I was like, this cannot be real right now. My biggest is 7.5 and biggest bag is 24.5 almost, but that was in the same day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you Whenever people post a picture of a bass and they say it's a 5 pounder, do you know that it's not?
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty
Like,
good at guessing.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can look and be like, "Yeah, it's a nice one, but there's no way that thing's over 3
Yeah.
pounds," right?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, I'll just give it to you, like, I get
Yeah.
it. Sometimes I get excited too. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's like a 5.5," and it's like a 4.
Yeah,
So,
you gotta hang it on a scale because
yeah.
doing the, like, measure it and then get the girth and doing the estimate, it doesn't work.
No,
It
you don't
just
wanna embarrass yourself.
Yeah, yeah. A true 5 pounder is a really, really big fish.
Mhm.
I actually don't know how big my biggest fish was. It was probably 5.5, but I didn't have a scale. But I've caught, 4.5 and 5 pounders since then, and that one was always bigger, right?
Yeah.
I was fishing for muskies and caught it on a big, like, 6-inch gliding wrap. I was fishing in Canada, and somebody caught one that was just under 7 pounds, and people don't realize how big a 7-pound bat. I mean, that is you can fit both your hands in that thing's
Oh,
mouth,
yeah. I
right?
was just absolutely, like, flabbergasted. I was like, "That does not even look like a bass," and you got people out here catching double digits. I mean, my brother caught, like, a 8.5 at Chickamauga, and I
Wow.
saw that sucker, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," like, that doesn't even look real,
Yeah.
but you can usually tell by the mouth how much they weigh.
Yeah, exactly. Do you and your brother drive to college together 3 hours to go to bass fishing meetings, which I think is a major dedication. Do you fish with your brother every time, or do you get paired up with somebody else?
I've only really ever fished with Brody. Actually, we're having a tournament this weekend in Illinois, just kind of a club tournament, like everybody meet everybody, and see how everybody fishes. We're gonna fish for, I'm pretty sure this is how we're doing it. We're gonna fish for 5 hours, go eat lunch, and then everybody's gonna draw out a different name to fish with. And that's the first time I've done that so far. I'm usually just my brother. I fished with different people because I went to Purdue. I fished with a guy named Cole and
Uh-huh.
Mason. So I fished with a few different people, but like Brody's my comfort zone, probably just because he's my brother. But we just fish really well together.
Yeah, I mean, that's important, I think, when you're doing the buddy system in bass fishing is having somebody that you can either A, play off of their technique because maybe they know something, maybe they like to fish a way that you don't. They'll say, "Hey, we're going to try this strategy," and you guys can kind of go back and forth. And when you work well together, that's great.
Mhm.
But who drives the boat?
Brody,
Brody.
usually, yeah. I pretty much never do. Sometimes when we have like a system where like he will catch a bass and then I'll run the trolling motor and then I'll catch a bass and he'll run the trolling motor. But lately we just got scope, so he's always up there scoping and I'm just sitting
Uh,
behind him like, come on, dude. So he's always running the trolling motor now. But I was a boat captain for the high school kids when Brody was still fishing in high school, so I'd run our bass tracker, but
oh,
I just honestly like being a co-angler, like, I don't have
yeah.
that responsibility of boat positioning or, like, if the wind's gusting, 30 mile an hour. I just like being back there and fishing.
Do you have a preference on fish finding equipment like, graphs or yeah, you said you got scopes. Do you like it?
I do like the scope. I mean, for the longest time, we just got scope like it was less than a year ago. So we're just now learning in a field that's been scoping for years now. We're getting there. I was the first time we got it, we went out on Kentucky Lake. It wasn't Kentucky Lake. Smith Lake in Alabama.
Mhm.
And I was just so proud of myself because I had thought I'd found this group of bass and I cast out there and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Brody, I have a nice bass." And I reel it in, it's a sunfish. So I still have trouble differentiating, like, bass from crappie from sunfish,
Sure.
but we're getting there. Brody's probably definitely better at it than I am because he's been out practicing all summer and I haven't been able to be on a boat. So I'm definitely very blessed to have Brody to, help learn these techniques when I'm down because I can't fish. But we have these explorer graphs, the new hummingbirds, and we absolutely love those as well.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so we usually just run hummingbirds, and then our live scope is a Garmin.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I actually just got I have an old Humminbird fish finder on my boat. It's got, like, the little fish icons on it and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
It doesn't really work. It can tell you how warm the water is, but
Well, that's important.
it is. But my wife, for Father's Day, just bought me a Garmin Striker 9 SV, so I'm excited to put that
You
on
got
my
a good
boat.
wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, right? She
Oh,
is
yeah.
she's fantastic. Her and my daughter wanted to meet you tonight, but they're doing some event tonight, so we're gonna have them meet you at some point. But
Yes, I would love to talk with them another time.
they're very impressed. I will tell you,
Really?
it's because, like I said, it's just something you don't see every day. The stuff that you're doing and you're putting out there, and I think it's really cool. But what
Yes.
you did say, and I don't want to leave the audience hanging because I mentioned it in the intro. You aren't fishing right now. And if it's okay with you, if it's not, we don't have to talk about it. But um, can you tell people why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty open about it.
Hmm.
Um, this might be a little long of a story, but,
Tell it all. We got plenty of time.
Okay. Well, basically, I go back about like probably 5 months ago, when I was in Illinois. I was living my life. I was doing good, and I've always suffered with really bad anxiety, and it just started coming back. I started getting really dizzy. I was dizzy all the time, irritable, nauseous. My vertigo was back. I just felt like I couldn't even function.
Hmm.
So I got real anxious about that, and I would just have to come home all the time and, I was like, "Something is wrong, like, something's not right with me." I just knew that something was not right. So I kept going to the doctor. It was pretty much impossible for me to even drive home because I was so dizzy. I'd drive home, I'd go to the doctor, they tell me I have anxiety. I'd go to the doctor again, they told me I had sinus issues. And finally, I went to the doctor again because we went to a fishing tournament in Oklahoma on Grand Lake, and, I put my head down because it was cold out, so I, like, put my hands over my head like this, and I lifted my head up, and I'm not even kidding, I seriously felt like I was upside down, like, everything was spinning around me, and I was like, "Something is wrong, like, get me off of this boat." So, I got off the boat, I somehow finished that tournament, no idea how, 'cause I was in pretty bad shape, and then we got home, I went back to the doctor and I was like, "I need an MRI, like, something is wrong." So I got my MRI, and we so much as didn't even walk in the door, and she called, and I was like, "Mm, that's probably not good." And I just heard her say on the phone to my mom, "We found a mass." And, it was, I guess it's gone now, but, it was running from the back of my eye all the way to the front of my ear. So it was probably about this big, all
Wow.
squished up in my head right here. We found out that it was benign. It's called a epidermoid tumor, I guess.
Hmm.
There is a 15% chance it will come back, but it'll still take a few years. I think it's been growing my whole life. I went to a bunch of different specialists trying to figure out how to get this thing out of me. They said we could go through my temple. They said we could take my skull out and go in from the back.
Mhm.
And then I was like, man, none of that really sounds that great. And then finally, my surgeon, JP, he's like, we're going to go through your eye socket. And, obviously that didn't sound great either, but something had to happen because the doctor said if I would have waited much longer, it was going into my brain. It was
Mhm.
that far away from my brain. It was
Mm.
sitting on my skull, barely protecting my brain. It had worn my bone down to half the size, because it's been there for so long.
Mhm.
And so we finally got into surgery about 2 months later. I couldn't fish, I was so dizzy all the time, and went into surgery. The surgery was about 4 hours. I was under for 4 hours total, which wasn't as long as I thought it was gonna be, so
Yeah,
thank
that's
God
pretty
for
quick.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't really see the scar anymore, but they went through my eyelid, and then right there is the plates. They took, like, this out right here. Went in there, got it all out. They said that it's all gone, and then they, put me back together. That was a month ago now. I just saw my doctor 2 days ago, and I'm released to fish now on a boat, so we're going this weekend. I'm
Alright.
Yes, I'm so happy. I've been having some major bass withdrawals. I was just in really bad shape mentally and physically. When you're 20 and you find out you have a tumor, really takes a toll on you. And I've already struggled with severe anxiety my whole life. So knowing that I had this tumor, I was like, what if it like kills me or something? I was constantly living in fear. I'm just so thankful that it's out of me. It's the first surgery that they've done like this in 9 years. I'm glad they didn't tell me that before surgery, but he just told me that. He said that this is pretty rare, obviously rare for a younger girl, especially one that's active. But I think it explains a lot of my anxiety and dizziness and vertigo I've had my whole life. I'm healing from that. I finally get my life back. I'm so excited to be able to fish. If he told me I couldn't fish, I was probably just gonna go, honestly. I need to fish. That's basically my story. We had a benefit tournament on Lake Shafer over here. We had about 200 people come support me, about 50 people fished the tournament. It was a huge turnout. So many people donated. I want to thank Brian Rothrock and his wife and his friend for putting that all together for me. I mean, it was a very emotional day, and I'm so thankful for what they did for me. But the whole community came together. We raised a lot of money to help with my medical funds because that surgery was not was
Yeah.
not cheap, was expensive. But basically the whole community came together, and that's kind of what got me through this. I mean, it was quite the process. I had to wait months just to get surgery. It went by fast, and I honestly can't believe that I'm already healing this fast. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so relieved. Hoping it doesn't grow back. I have to get yearly checkups. For now, because it could come back. It'll be a while if it does, but that's pretty much the story.
The story is just amazing to me. But then what's cool is the rally that did happen for you. I mean, you had local friends and family come out and show up for you. And then you even had people, this is one cool thing about the bass fishing community. You had pros reach out to you.
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
your picture with Jacob Wheeler and Carl
Yeah.
Jock. That's they're big guys. They don't have to do that. You know,
Mm.
what I want to know is what helps you get through those times where you think you can't handle life. I mean, this was a thing that could have impeded your bass fishing and could have impeded something that's really important to the rest of your life. What do you do to get through something like that?
I'm not gonna lie, I was angry for a long time. I was like, I've already struggled so bad with my anxiety, like, why is this happening to me? The thing that got me through it the most, other than, my family and parents, I would say, is realizing that this wasn't from God. This was from the devil, the tumor was. God does not create evil upon you. I realized that if I keep sulking and feeling sorry for myself and just always feeling so sad all the time because this happened to me, then I'm letting the devil win.
Mhm.
So I was like, I still wasn't in great shape. I wasn't feeling well mentally and physically, but I decided to stop letting the devil win all the time. I mean, I still fail at it pretty much every day. I still have anxiety, but I stopped letting it consume me so bad, and I started turning to God, and my faith got stronger. I mean, my faith was already strong, but it got even stronger. And I stopped questioning God so much. I just kind of started telling the devil to go back to where he came from because I was tired of him consuming me all the time. Honestly, my faith got me through a lot of it. I still fail God every single day. I still question him. Even today, I struggled to get out of bed because my anxiety was so bad. Some days are just like that. But that's just life. You got to get up and decide if you're gonna let the devil win or if you're gonna let God control your day. But other than that, my family for sure. I mean, my mom and dad, they've had to endure a lot with me. I mean, I've been through a lot of therapy, a lot of hospitals, just even before this, I've had a
Mhm.
lot of issues and a lot of mental issues too. They have never ever left my side. If anything, it's brought us a lot closer together. My parents are divorced. They have been since I was 8, yes, 8 years old. They still communicate all the time. I mean, we go to the appointments together. They have never once complained about spending time with each other. I mean, they're still good friends. I know that they do it for me and my brother. Without my parents, there's absolutely no way I'd be able to get through this by myself. They've had to show me some tough love. I've definitely gotten mad at them a few times, like, just like let me sit in bed. I just want to sit here. But they're like, no, you're getting up and you're going on a walk. That has helped me tremendously. I mean, just them showing me that not that I'm being lazy, but that I'm letting the devil win. I mean, my mom told me today, she's like, don't let the devil win, Bracy. So I got up and I went and had lunch with my friend, even though I was feeling super anxious. And I'm glad that I did. Sometimes you're going to be like, I really wish I didn't do this. And other times you're going to be like, I'm so glad I did this. I mean, it's worth taking that risk because that's just life. I mean, if something happens, I could just come back home or my mom could come get me. I mean, I just wasn't being realistic about stuff, and then I got stronger in my faith. But anyways, and my dad too. My dad had so much patience with me. I'm sorry for calling you out, Dad, but I've never seen him so emotional. This journey was a lot for him. I know with my sister having Down syndrome and some of the stuff he's went through as well, he had a tougher time adapting to it as well. This health journey was a lot on him, and he always stayed strong and always cared for me, and same with my mom. I mean, she was like my therapist, she's my best friend. Both my parents are my absolute best friends. Same with my step-parents, my stepdad, Mike, and stepmom, Ashley. They've been there for me every step of the way too. There's so many people that just check up in on me and my friends as well. Like, I don't know what I'd do without my best friends. Bailey is one of my best friends, and she'd just come see me all the time, and I'd be like, "I can't drive," and she'd be like, "Oh, that's fine, I'll come see you," and I'm just so thankful to have friends like that and just people that care for me in the fishing community too. The fact that they put a benefit fishing tournament on for me, I was like, "What did I do to deserve this?" I mean, I didn't know what I did to deserve it, but I'm so thankful. I mean, that's what got me through this was it's just everybody caring about me. I mean, I feel like everybody deserves to be cared about like that.
Yeah.
So I think honestly what I'm thinking about doing is kind of having a benefit tournament every year for somebody who's in need. I'd love to do that for the community. I mean, you should have seen the amount of people there. Like, it was so emotional. It was
That's so
crazy.
cool. I love that.
Yes,
I
just
love
seeing
that.
everybody there, and then like people made shirts that said "Fish for Bracy," and then I got a rod made for me. Bud made me a rod. His name's Bud Smart. Made me a custom rod. It had like a fish with a cross and my absolute favorite Bible verse, Colossians 3:2, and it was the most beautiful rod. It was an absolute beautiful day. And I
That's
just have to tell this story too.
tell it.
At the fishing tournament, there was another custom rod Bud made, and he was selling raffle tickets. So he sold, I'm pretty sure, like 3,500 raffle tickets for that rod. There was a lot of raffle tickets in this bucket. It probably raised some of the most money out of everything. And I was walking around at the tournament, trying to talk to everybody, and this gentleman stopped me, and you could tell that he was tired. He wasn't feeling well. He's like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I've been through something similar." And I was like, "Oh, like really?" Like, I wanted to hear what he had to say. So we talked for a minute, and he's like, "I had a tumor in my head that I had to get removed." And then he said it came back and it was cancer. And he said it spread on my head. And then he showed me some spots on his arms too. He said I had to go through chemo and radiation at the same time. He
Hmm.
said I almost lost my life. He said he had that bag that you have to have on your stomach.
Mhm.
Um, you could tell that he had just been through so much health-wise, and I just felt for him, like, I had been through a lot, but this man was a warrior. I mean, he was so strong, and he's like, "I haven't been out of the house in a long time, and I just knew I had to come support you today," and he fished the dang tournament, like, he fished out there all day. I mean, I'm so proud of him for doing that, and I don't really even know this guy, and I go up there, and they're like, "Okay, Bracy, draw the name for this rod," and I draw that guy's name. Yes, I, was, sobbing. I was
Aw,
trying so hard to keep it in all day, but I just thought that story was, like, a total God thing,
yeah,
because if I coulda picked anybody out of that pretty big crowd that was there, I would have picked him. Like, I was just hoping so badly that he would get the rod. I didn't even know if he got a raffle ticket, but I was just in disbelief when he came up to me and, he was pretty emotional, I was emotional, and it was just a beautiful moment.
yeah. There's a lot that people can learn from your story, but we live in a world that is an anxious world now. It's not like it used to be, right?
Mhm.
And you finding a reason to get up in the morning and having people that when you don't, you surrounded yourself with good people. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. I was at, do you know who Brandon Lake is?
That sounds
He's
really
like
familiar.
he's a worship leader that's really a really
Okay, yes, I was gonna say,
so
is he a singer?
yeah, he just did a song
Okay,
with Jelly Roll, right? Hard Fought
okay.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, I
So
hear that song all the time.
yeah, so I was at his concert like a month ago with my wife. We went to see him and Phil Wickham, right? He said something that I thought was probably the coolest metaphor I ever heard. Because people get mad at God a lot, and his metaphor was about people like leaving a church because something offended them. But you could really use this metaphor in any way. Do you ever get food poisoning?
I
You get
I
like
probably have,
yeah.
honestly.
You get sick, you puke, it makes you feel real crummy, and you think it's from the thing that you ate, like, "Oh, I ate pizza, so I can't eat pizza because it made me sick," right?
Yeah,
But every time you look at it, you think that the pizza is what made you sick when it was just whatever pizza you ate was bad pizza. Sometimes the things that you happen in your life are because that we were born into this world that's just dirty, and without God, we have nothing, we are nothing,
yeah,
right? But God's not the one who gave you the bad pizza,
yeah,
right? The world's what gave you the bad pizza. And I can see that you're doing all these things to make sure that you can still eat the pizza because you got God. And I think that's cool because it's, I mean, like I said, I'm going to say it again. Don't, you don't see people care about the influence that they have on other people like you do. What kind of an impact do you hope you get to have on the people that follow you?
there's honestly a lot of things I wanna spread to the people that follow me, but mainly is the word of God. I can't force anybody to be a Christian. I can't
Uh-huh.
force anybody to be religious. If you're not, that's fine. I still love you anyway. That's what we're called to do. I've had my moments where, I feel like every Christian has had their moments where they're like, "Why is God doing this? What if I'm wrong and God's not real?" And those thoughts consumed me for a while, and I am ashamed to admit it, but I did think about that stuff, and, for the longest time, and this opened my eyes. I mean, I really feel like this sounds so weird, but I really feel like I needed this tumor, and I needed this to show me that God was real.
Mhm.
I already knew that he was real, I always believed it, but I was like, "If he's real, then why does he let bad things happen?" And I think if this tumor didn't come about, I would still be thinking that God did this to people. My message that I'm trying so hard to spread is don't let the devil win. I mean, like you said, that one bad slice, I'm so scared to go out and do stuff because I'm so scared that the devil's gonna come at me again. But if he does, you can't stop that. The only thing you can do is have faith. So I can either sit in my room or I can go out when I'm scared and anxious. I can go out and do these things that God's allowing me to do. This health scare has also showed me that I'm so lucky just to be here. Every single person is created in God's purpose and God's image. And I firmly and truly believe that. Even the people that are lost, even the people that, are atheists and not following God, they're still God's child. God still loves them. We still love them. I want to help people get on that path. I don't want people to be mad at God like I was, because I am ashamed of that. Um, and I'm not happy that I was. And I don't want other people to have to experience that as well.
You shouldn't be though, because it's part of your testimony, you know?
Yeah.
It's part of what makes you you made it through something that would probably eventually have killed you,
Mhm.
you know? I don't know if you know this. I'm a nurse in intensive care, so I
Oh,
know
really?
I know
I
what
did
you
not
went
know
through.
that.
You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I don't know, like, I honestly, I've never taken care of anybody that's had a tumor like the one that you've had, but I've had people with brain tumors and
Yeah.
have taken care of dying people, but you made it through something that would have eventually
Yeah.
done you some real harm. Like, it already did you a little bit, and
Yeah.
it's normal to be angry about those kinds of things, but you are on the other side now, and
Yeah.
it's only making you stronger.
Yes.
It's making you stronger as a person because you've already said, like, I'm not letting this anxiety stuff rule me."
Mhm.
You already have said, "God's got this." You know what I mean? Like, there's already so much that you've overcome, which is incredible, and the only thing that is a snowball, you know? It's just gonna keep growing, which is excellent, and I think this thing about hunting and fishing and stuff, hunting and fishing is hard,
Yeah.
you know, when it gets down to it. If you have a post front day, it's not your favorite day to bass fish, is it?
No.
Right?
No.
But if you can come home with a bag, you're a better fisherman, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing that's so cool about this is like, oh, everybody wants to do the hard thing, and some people do it for the right reason, and some people don't. You know, it's like it's a big trend now for people to work out really hard and go into all these really hard places to elk hunt, and it's really cool. But it's really about building the resilience and the strength, not necessarily going in to kill a trophy animal, right?
Yeah.
It's about the experience. Now we all hope that we come home successful, whether it's on the bass trail or, you know, deer hunting or whatever it is. But I think one thing that you've done to connect the outdoors with people is show them like, hey, this hard stuff is achievable. Like, you've made it through something.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with your own personal like stuff, but you're impacting a lot of people.
Thank you. I'm trying. I don't wanna, like, I don't wanna be like, feel bad for me. I've been through a lot because
Yeah.
everybody's been through stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I always say everybody's got something. Everybody I talk to struggles, and, it's okay to struggle. That's life. I know I keep saying that, but that's life. Seriously, that's why we're here.
Mhm.
Like you said, it's an evil world. You can choose whether to follow God or to, stay in the worldly things. But that's just life, so, I mean, you gotta choose what you gotta do with it, and I'm trying to choose to help others that are in the spot that I was in, because when I was in that dark spot that I'm still kind of in, I'm crawling out of it, when I was in there real bad, I woulda liked to have somebody tell me that I was not alone
Mhm.
and that, I was doing okay and that I was strong because, I just felt like I was failing all the time, and
Yeah.
I just want to be that for other people. And, also just influence the, younger girls and fisher women and men out there. I just want to show them that, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to, put yourself out there, in a godly way. Um, because that's what God calls us to do. He calls us to, help others and bring other people to heaven. And I want to have a whole lot of people in heaven with me when it's my time, which hopefully far from now, but um, "Make heaven crowded" is a verse that I like, and,
Mhm.
if I can just help one person, gain that eternal life, then I've won, you know?
What can you compare it's it kinda, like, turns into, like, bass fishing's kind of a light matter, deer hunting's kind of a light matter when you've gone through something like you've gone through. But what's a moment on the water or in the woods where you had that same kind of feeling of stress, like, "Hey," and then kind of were able to work through it?
Gosh, I honestly, a lot of tournaments. Um,
Tournaments are
like
stressful.
yes. I guess, probably one tournament specifically I can think of right now. My brother and I, we had a good high school career, and then we got to college, and we were like, "Wow, we're not as good as we thought we were." So, there was so many good people that fish in college. We were struggling for a while. just to, be at the top of the team and, be in the standings. And I guess one tournament in particular was Sam Rayburn. We had a pretty good limit. I'd caught almost a 6 pounder. My brother and we were having a good time, and um I just started to kind of get a really bad attitude because I was like, I want to qualify. This is one of our last chances to qualify. No, Pickwick was our last chance to qualify. Sam Rayburn, I just wanted to do good. Like I was just,
Uh-huh.
just wanted to fish good. It was like the last hour of the day, and we had this good bag, and I lost our qualifying fish by seriously that much. Like Brody had the net right under it, it somehow got out, and I was just angry. I was mad, honestly, but that's not even the only tournament. A lot of tournaments, I have gotten like a bad attitude. I hate to admit that too. I mean, not to like where I'm not gonna fish or where I'm throwing a fit, but I just get like kind of quiet. I'm like, man, why are we stuck in right now? I'm like, I just want to do good. That happened to us a lot. We had a lot of conversations where we're like, man, what's going on? Like, we used to be so good, and now we're just not doing good anymore. And we eventually, got better. Our last tournament, we had almost 18 pounds for our 1 day tournament on Pickwick, which is pretty good. And then we almost qualified for nationals. We missed it by less than an ounce,
Oh,
but we started, getting better. We started gaining our confidence. So, honestly, just this entire fishing season has kind of been a test for me. Uh, I can compare to my physical test. But I do want to say that after all of this, I would so much rather be on the lake, post front, worst day possible. I would so much rather catch absolutely no fish out in God's beautiful creation than be sitting on the couch with a tumor in my head.
yeah,
So that taught me to never take this for granted ever again.
yeah, I'll
Which
say.
I wanna spread that, message as well, is you are so lucky. Everybody who is able is so lucky to be able. There are people out there, like I saw in the hospital when I was in there, that aren't able. Oh, they're stuck in the hospital, they're sick, on the bridge of death. Like, there's so many people that are not blessed like you are. So I know that my tumor could have been a lot worse. I mean, obviously could have been better, it could have been worse, but I'm just so thankful to be here and to be able to have, honestly, a horrible day on the water now. Like, I'd so much rather have that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the attitude to have, especially
Yeah.
with bass fishing. Do you ever go to a lake that's supposed to be really, really good and you're really excited to go there and it sucks?
Yes. Absolutely. Smith Lake. We were
Smith Lake.
like we were like, "Finally, we're gonna catch some limits." Like, yeah, we're about to do so good. We didn't even catch a limit, like, either day, and I was just mad. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me right now." But, everybody else says, "Oh, this place sucks, we're not doing any good." And then tournament day, they have, I mean, like, 15 pounds is pretty good for Smith, They have, like, 15 pounds, and me and Brody are over here with, like, 8, and, you know, just angers you, but that happens a lot.
Yeah. I used to fish with a guy on his boat and he would get so worked up and he'd have 10 different baits on his deck and he's on the floor tying them all up, right? And he's throwing everything. Does like 3 casts a piece, one, no, okay, nothing, trying this, and we're fishing 30 feet of water and 6 feet of water and ledges and points and weed beds, everything, all really fast. And we
Yeah.
never, well, obviously, you never catch anything because
Uh-uh.
you're not staying, just chilling. What's your go-to when you're struggling?
Honestly, it depends on the lake, I guess. Lake Chickamauga, we were struggling. We caught our keepers at the very end of the day, and my confidence bait is a chatterbait. I'd say Brody's is probably a jig or a spook. So we went to a flat where we could do both. I threw my chatterbait and he threw a spook or a jig. We go to our confidence baits. We usually try to go shallow. Myth Lake, we were struggling. We're like, okay, it was like the last hour of the day. We're probably like, realistically, we're probably not going to qualify, so let's just try to catch us a bag. So we got our buzz baits out. We love throwing a buzz bait. I caught a 5 pounder on it, which is pretty good for Smith Lake, 5 pound largemouth
Yeah.
on buzz bait. So Usually we go top water shallow, or we fish like grass or rock flats with a shaky head, football jig, or chatterbait. That's kind of our thing. Brody loves them a jig and a football jig, and he loves scoping now, but I love a chatterbait. That's like my go-to. Any doubt at all, I'm getting my chatterbait out.
It's a great bait.
Oh
What
yes.
do you throw a lot of finessey stuff?
Well, I last time I tried to do that was on Pickwick, and, we were I don't know if you know what the horseshoe is, but it's down by the dam,
Mhm.
because our motor we had boat troubles all year, that's a whole different story. We have a new boat now, thank goodness, but, we couldn't go super far, so we went to the horseshoe, we were fishing against there was, like, 42 other people there, and, like, there was both seriously, like, 20 feet away from you, and we were all throwing finesse stuff, and, I was throwing my little Brody was throwing a Ned rig, and I was throwing my little shaky head. I just kept getting stuck, and I kept breaking off, and I was throwing a fit. So, finesse fishing is not my favorite, I'd say, so we got a jerkbait out, and we started catching them pretty good, but last time I finesse fished was Pickwick, and it was not very pretty.
It's a hard thing to do. I used to go to Canada and to New York a lot. I remember we used to throw a whole bunch of techniques in a hat, and you had to fish with it for an hour, right? During that day. And we'd all like tally up how many fish we caught and then how many fish we caught on the technique that everybody hated. And none of us had ever thrown a drop shot. We just talked about how much it sucked to throw a drop shot. The first time I ever threw a drop shot, I think I caught 30 bass, and I was like, sold, sold. So I think it's probably because we're fishing these northeast lakes. They love that
Yeah.
finessey stuff, and especially when you're in smallmouth and stuff like that. But
Oh, yeah.
it can be hard, especially with the live scope and that kind of thing. But you're really seeing live time what the fish are used to, and then people are telling you like, "Hey, finesse's not all the way always the way to go when it comes,"
No.
because you can see their reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was throwing a football jig on, like, Brookville, and, um, every time I lift my jig up, there was, like, 10 bass behind it. I was like, "Seriously?" Like, I couldn't believe how many bass actually follow your bait and don't eat it.
Hmm.
It's kind of irritating.
Isn't it right? That's
Yes.
probably one of the worst things about live scope. I would
Yes.
I would imagine. How do you prep for big tournaments?
We practice. We're allowed 3 days for bass. We usually practice 4 days for MLF and ACA. We're on the water a lot. I mean, that's the best practice. And then respool our line, retie everything. We always have our rods ready, extra lures ready. Make sure, the boat's clean. My mindset is, clean boat, clean fishing. So I'm over there like scrubbing the boat down and Brody's, organizing the tackle and stuff. Or then once I'm done, I'll help him. But we kind of have a system like, I'll make sure everything's clean and put together and, put all the lures away, tie my stuff on, and then he'll tie his stuff on, and he'll kinda organize in the inside of the boat, and so, basically just stay extremely organized. We have a system. That's why I'm thankful for my brother because I can just kinda boss him around and he can boss me around. It works great that way.
So what are your big plans for the fall? How many tournaments do you have this fall? Do you know how many tournaments you have?
I know that we have that fun one this weekend, and then we will have a state tournament just kind of for the regional people, an invitational, and then we go to Hartwell, Chickamauga, Darnell, Kentucky Lake that I
Mm,
know of so far. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, those are cool lakes. They're gonna be tough.
Darnell
Hartwell,
definitely,
yeah,
yeah.
Darnell's right. Hartwell is a cool lake.
I love Hartwell so much.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lake. I
Yeah.
love to watch, like, rewatch some bass tournaments and, kind of learn their different things that they're doing because every lake's different.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
What are your deer hunting plans for the fall?
Oh gosh, I mean, that's also a big part of why I'm here at home. I missed deer hunting so much last year. So I'm gonna basically be out there as much as possible. We already have 4 or 5 cell cams out, so, I'm checking those constantly. We have a few bucks that we have our eyes on. So, pretty thankful for that because like I said, it's hard to get those bucks around here. They're
Mhm.
always dead by 3.
All right. I want you to tell 2 stories. I want to hear your favorite hunting story, and if I didn't already hear it, I wanna hear your favorite bass fishing story, whether it was a tournament or a fish you caught or your first fish, whatever it is.
Okay. So I'll start with hunting first. I have so many good hunting stories, but I think let me think for sure. My favorite, okay, we're gonna go my biggest buck. My biggest buck scores 153, which honestly isn't huge for around here.
Bigger than
Um,
my biggest buck.
yeah, I mean, for around here, I mean, we got like 190s around here, but
Mhm.
153, but anyways, um, it was still early bow season, and, me and my dad were like, "Let's just go to the Triangle," is this property. They're putting start putting solar panels up in that field out there, and we're just gonna go sit there, and we're just gonna see what's going on. Climbed up into the deer stand, and me and my dad were sitting there. I like going with my dad quite a bit. And we were sitting there for a while, and I was like, man, like it was still kind of hot out. I was like, there's solar people over there. And I was just kind of like, we're not going to see anything. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was wrong. So we were just sitting there, and I just see this deer like kind of trotting towards us. And I was like, am I seeing this right? And like, I hadn't seen this deer yet. Me and my dad were sitting there. I was like, Dad, like, get your binoculars out. Do you see that deer? And I was like, surely that's just like a tree in front of it or something. I didn't know I thought I was seeing stuff. And kind of trots up to us. And of course, I'm freaking out because it's getting close now. So I'm like trying to get my bow up and I've got it on dad's leg and I'm like following this deer around. And the deer finally gets like probably like 15 yards right under our stand. I was just thinking, if I miss this deer, I'm gonna be so embarrassed right now. So, I pointed at the deer. Dad was trying to stop it for me, which thank you, Dad, because I'm not good at multitasking. He's trying to stop it for me, and the deer just kept walking. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna get a shot at this thing." So I put it like a few feet in front of the deer and wait for it to walk in front of my crosshairs. And I shoot it and I hear the arrow hit a tree and I'm like, I just missed this thing. Like I was so embarrassed. And it starts like swaying back and forth and it just falls right down. That was just so cool to me. I mean, it didn't even take maybe took like 2 steps and it was a beautiful shot, an absolute beautiful deer. Just an amazing hunting story with my dad.
Cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I guess I have a turkey hunting one too, if you want me to share that.
Go ahead.
Okay, I've only killed 2 toms, but this year, before I found out about the tumor, I was, in bad shape, so turkey hunting was kind of my escape. I had gone so many times, and I had originally missed a turkey. I was trying way too hard to shoot a 12 gauge way too far. It was a really dumb mistake, and I knew it was wrong. So I had just kept going turkey hunting. I was like, man, like, what is going on? So we put a blind up. I sat there that morning. I almost left because I was having an anxiety attack. I was like, "I gotta get out of here," but I was like I heard a gobble. I was like, "Wait a minute, like, maybe I'm not having an anxiety attack, maybe I'm fine." So I sat there, I see these hens coming up to my decoy that I had put out, and we had just got a new I think yeah, it's just a hen decoy. I put him out her out, and, I see these hens walking up, and I'm like, "Oh boy, the toms are over in the other field again," because originally, the toms were in the field behind me when I was there before, and I was sitting this way, so I tried to turn around to, get my gun towards the toms, and they all run off, so I was like, "So that's gonna happen again," and, I see the hens come in. I couldn't find my turkey call, so I was calling with my mouth. I was like, "This sounds so bad right now," but somehow, here comes both toms that I didn't even know if they were coming or not. They came right up to my decoy, and that tom was running too. He wouldn't stop. So I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna have to shoot anyways, like, it's either this or nothing." I shot him and it was a clean shot and it was a pretty cool hunt. I mean, not a crazy story, but, just the adrenaline of, being there and
That's a
I was
great
by
story. You
yeah,
call
I
it
was
times with your mouth.
I guess it was so bad. I don't know why they came into it.
You
I'm not
know
complaining.
you know who would definitely lose a turkey calling competition? A hen turkey.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, but they came into it, so
That's
and
awesome.
the other Tom was, like, picking on I guess it was probably a Jake, it looked pretty young, it just had a little teeny beard, and it was attacking the Jake, and I was like, "Well, now I don't really feel that bad for shooting this thing," so I shot him while he was walking towards me, I was like, "He's not gonna stop," so but it was a clean shot, and yeah, that was a fun day, and I was alone, so I was excited to, call my dad and mom, and it was pretty
Oh,
fun.
that's cool. I love
Yeah.
Do you deer hunt independently pretty often?
I have, yeah, I enjoy that as well, just being
Yeah,
by myself. Sometimes I'll go with my brother, my dad, and last year we all 3 went together.
that's
It
great.
was quite packed, but it was fun. I like just sitting in nature by myself, but I'm not gonna lie, I get a little scared when it's dark out walking back because I always feel like something's following me.
The the most macho man hunter you'll ever meet is also scared of the dark, so don't worry
Really?
about don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, there's things out there. Do you have bears in your area?
No, we've had, like, 1 sighting, and it was in Southern Indiana, but
Okay.
no. One time, I swan, my brother and I were sitting at a deer stand, and I seriously feel like we saw, like, a cougar or something. I know that's not possible, but it looked exactly like a cougar, and I will stand by that. Nobody believes us, but we both saw it.
I mean, there's always reports of cougars going through places, and even if they
Yeah.
don't live or breed there, there's a good chance they're traveling through, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I stand by it. I really think there was. So,
It's possible.
yeah.
Alright, do you
My
have
fishing story.
yeah,
Yes.
what's the fishing?
Oh gosh. There's so many. Honestly, I didn't catch this fish, but I was there. It's my partner, my brother. We were at Lake Hartwell, and we had been in like I can't remember what place after the first day, but we weren't top 12. But we were up there decently. We had like 12 pounds the first day, and that's good for Hartwell. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty decent for Hartwell.
Mhm,
And it felt like, like 195 degrees outside. We were getting, tired the second day. And we had a decent three fish, and then I caught like a three and a half. And then I was while I was reeling in my three and a half, or however big it was around three and a half. Brody was twitching his spook, and I was kinda, like, looking at dad, talking to dad, like, "Oh, I think I have a fish," and Brody was twitching his spook, and Brody stops to look over and see what's going on with me, and you just hear this absolute, like, tremendous blow up, and I'm like, absolutely flabbergasted. I was like, "What was that?" And it was a 5-pound largemouth on Hartwell, which is pretty good,
mhm.
and he reels it in, and, I was about to have a heart attack, like, netting this thing. I was like, "If I mess this up, I'm dead, like, I'm getting pushed in the water. They're gonna leave me here." I was like, "I know that I have to get this fish." Brody did a good job keeping it down, and we got it in the boat, and we all just looked at each other, and we knew that that was our qualifying fish. And, like, I was about to cry. Brody was, like, the happiest I've ever seen him. I mean, that dude, he tries to act pretty nonchalant, but, when he catches a big bass, you can definitely tell. And, we were all, like, hugging and high-fiving and, like, yelling, and just that drive back in, is like a feeling like no other. When you qualified, you have a big bag. It was just finding out that we qualified was just the most amazing feeling ever. I mean, there's seriously nothing like it. All of that hard work that you do, and it
Mhm,
finally pays off. I know people are like, "Why do you bass fish? Why do you spend all this money for that 5-pound bass to qualify?"
mhm.
That feeling is like no other feeling in the world. But
Yeah,
that's probably my best fishing story.
that's a cool one. I love
Yeah.
that. Alright, we're gonna go through a couple questions.
Okay.
Alright, so this one's just kinda it might not be a short answer, so it's okay if they're not short answers.
Okay.
How competitive do you get with your brother on the boat?
We definitely argue. It used to be like, when he caught a fish, I'd be like, "Okay, well, like, why didn't I catch that fish?" And then, like, it kinda used to be the same with me, like, he'd get jealous when I caught a fish, but over the years, we've actually started to learn to work together, like, it doesn't really matter who catches the fish as long as we catch the fish. So, sometimes I wanna rip his head off and he wants to rip my head off, but we've really actually matured, and, like, he's my absolute best friend. So, we've kinda matured into the whoever catches the bass is fine. Like, we can be mature about it now, but it used to be kinda bad.
Alright, so you've already said that your favorite lure was a chatterbait. So what kind of trailer are you putting on it?
I'm pretty simple. I just like to throw a mini scrub trailer. That's probably my favorite. It's my go-to for everything. I mean, there's so many colors. I just cut it down so it's just like half an inch out from the skirt of the chatterbait. But that's really all I throw with my chatterbaits.
Did you start putting on your custom bait yet?
Not yet. I did throw it in a pond because I could only fish a pond, and I caught a few on it. Um, but I haven't thrown it as a trailer yet because I haven't really been to a lake, but I'm definitely going to. Probably as a jig. I think a jig may be better because
Mhm,
chatterbait, it's already got so much action, that vibrating action. I don't know if, all those arms on the Braci bug, feels weird saying that, would, be too much for the bass, but
mhm.
it may be worth a shot.
It's gonna be good in some sloppy stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's what I was thinking.
All right. What's your favorite structure to fish? Like to flip big mats, fish points? Do you like to wind and grind?
Sometimes it depends on the day, but I think my absolute favorite is probably fishing grass. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like a chatterbait. I like, fishing on the edges of the grass with just like even a worm, a Cinco, like a
Mhm,
10-inch worm or pack a crawl. Like I love weeds and grass.
mhm.
So that's probably my favorite.
You definitely are a largemouth girl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What is your favorite lake to fish?
I'd probably still say Hartwell. I mean, there are a variety of stuff you can fish. You can be fishing, in however deep it gets in the clearest water ever, or you can be back in a little creek in the dirtiest water ever. I mean, there's definitely a variety. And we did good there. So,
What lake have you not fished that you'd really like to?
oh gosh, there's so many.
There's a lot.
um, Probably East Fork. I mean, kind of that's got dang big fish.
Mhm.
So probably East Fork. I mean, I love Sam Rayburn, so I would love to fish there. I'm drawing a blank on the one in Missouri.
Uh,
Table Rock. I'd
Table
love
Rock.
to fish
Yeah,
Table Rock. Yes,
that's a
my
cool lake.
dad loves it there. I've heard it's pretty good fishing. I've been there to their lodges and stuff, but I haven't been to Table Rock itself. But
Very cool.
hoping maybe Bass puts that on the schedule. That would be legit. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be very cool. What is your dream hunt?
I know you said you like elk hunting. I wanna go elk hunting. That's honestly my dream hunt right now, because, I've been shooting these deer. I wanna level it up a little bit, and I think they're so beautiful. I know that you have to, like, climb mountains and stuff, but I think I can do it right now,
Yeah,
and I just think it'd be so cool. Like, I think they're just beautiful creatures.
it is. It's a really yeah, I had the last time I was elk hunting was 2022, and it is a different experience. When you come home, you're like, I never want to do that again for like an hour. And then you're like, all right, well, maybe in like as soon as possible, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, it is it, and every time it gets to this time of year and the wind starts to change a little bit, and you get to that time of year that you were there, like you feel like you like that pull to go back there.
Mhm.
It is
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it's pretty unique. It's
Yeah.
very special. And then you have these animals run around. It sounds like you're in Jurassic Park when they're going nuts. It's pretty
That
cool.
would be so cool.
It is
Yeah,
pretty
that's
cool.
my dream.
You need to get your college bass fishing team to do an Eastern type thing and do some of those lakes in New York because they are pretty stellar.
Yeah, I've never even been, like, around that area, honestly,
Yeah.
so I think that'd be pretty cool.
Those Eastern fish are in that New York area are pretty cool. But it's one of those hit or miss things that we were talking about. You know, we did Cayuga one year, and I hate that lake, and everybody loves that lake. I would fish it again, but I could probably stand not to.
Mhm.
The last day that we fished there, we pulled up on this rock pile. Somebody had marked it on like the Lake Master thing or something.
Mhm.
We were fishing this rock pile, and we were dragging ounce and a half tubes on the bottom of this rock pile. New York has a lot of gobies, so tubes are really good baits
Oh,
in
yeah.
in New York. I think I caught 10 chain pickerel and not one single bass. And every single cast, my buddy, he caught 3 4-pounders and a 5-pounder. And we were there for 10 minutes. And I took a picture of him with this 5-pounder that he caught, and lightning struck behind him. Like the sky was it was kind of cloudy. And all of a sudden it started
Mhm.
like thundering and lightning. And we were 3 miles away from the house. We're doing like 65 on the lake to get back to the house. And there's lightning striking all around us. I don't ever need to go back to Cayuga.
No, I don't blame you. That's how it was at Hartwell.
Oh,
Um,
yeah?
I think I was our second day, it was storming, like, hardcore, and I was just, praying that we even made it back. But yeah,
It's scary because sometimes those storms on big lakes, they roll in and
out of
it's like you
nowhere.
didn't yeah, it's like you didn't
Yeah.
even see him coming. It's like you
Oh,
didn't even
yeah.
see him coming. I wanna know, where can people follow you, Bracy?
My Instagram is just Braci_Ault, TikTok, Braci Ault, Facebook, Braci Ault. um, YouTube is Braci Ault Outdoors. But that's mainly all of my social media stuff. There's not a lot of Bracies, so it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, and you recently wrote an article for Bassmaster.
Yes, Bassmaster. It's not like they said they were gonna post it, on their website, but I'm free to share it. So if you just go to Bassmaster and pull up Bracy Alt, it says like something about reeling for healing is the
Mhm,
title. So you can also read that on there as well. Bassmaster said they will be posting it like on their socials. So I've been waiting for that to share it, but I don't care if people read it. But yeah,
okay,
it's just on
and
the Bassmaster
there's a
website.
link on your Instagram for that, right?
That's another one. That's a different one.
That's a different one. Okay,
Yes, that's, like, how to like, a woman in the fishing industry, so you can press on
cool.
that link too and read that.
Very cool. Excited.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share before you leave?
I think we covered it all, honestly,
That was
I
a
feel
great
like I
podcast.
talked a whole lot.
It
Yes.
is a great podcast. Thanks for coming
Yes.
on, Bracy.
Yes.
We're gonna have to revisit this at some point because
Yeah,
I wanna hear how your year went when you're all done this year.
absolutely, yeah, it was so nice talking to you, and I really appreciate you having me on here, and I'd love to rejoin and meet your family too.
Absolutely. They're excited. My daughter, she's like, go hang out with her little friends tonight and stuff, and she was like, "But my mom, maybe I wanna stay home." I'm like, "Well, honey, like, we'll set up another time." "Dad, are you sure? Do you think she'll come back?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure she'll come up."
I will, don't worry, I'd love to talk to her.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks
Absolutely.
again, Bracy. I appreciate it. Can I pray with you before we're done?
Oh, yes, absolutely, I love that.
Alright. Don't judge my hair here because 'cause we're taking off
I
top.
won't.
Dear God, I just thank you for the time that we got to spend talking about you and sharing Bracy's awesome story of resilience and her faith in you and her faith on the water too, because it's pretty incredible to see the strength that you're imparting to her and whatever you're building her up for, it's going to be something awesome. So I just ask that you bless her bass season with whatever it brings, bless her hunting season with whatever it brings. Thank you for the support that she's had through professionals to locals to her family, God. You've really provided a way to make her life special. Thanks for having her on this podcast. And we just, we thank you for everything that you do for us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Anytime. Thanks for coming on, Bracy. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Bracy's story as much as I did. Keep coming back for more. Give the show a follow. If you could, leave it a review, leave it a rating. It'll really, really help the show out. Let me know what you want to hear because I want to keep up with what you want to hear. So let me know. Please follow Bracy at the places she told you could follow her. And go ahead and follow us at InCamp_podcast to see what we've going on every week. I appreciate it. This is InCamp Podcast.